It's 3:10 p.m. Thursday, the 7th of August, 2025. Very serendipitously, I saw something about full moon in a couple of days, and it's supposed to be of Aquarius. Full moon for this Leo season in Aquarius, which is my two sisters' zodiac. My sister has a birthday in a couple of days, and I am currently on the the receiving end of basically whatever aftermath is required for some of the more recent provocation interventions. You know, if it isn't left alone, well enough alone, due to parent, if the provocation intervention circumstance is ignored, you know, it is only a matter of for how long. And which is why at 4 p.m. Central Time, which is less than an hour, there's supposed to be a conference for for Sezzle, the financial institution. Yeah, they definitely made money off of me because they stole money from me by preventing me from paying on time. The buttons were removed, and so they charged my account and added a late fee. And I mentioned this many times. I took pictures and stuff. Neither here nor there, you know. They also sent the police to my house because they said that I was suicidal. So that's super cool. It really isn't, but my life is in jeopardy, so that's why I can't speak my truth. There's that. I'm exhausted because I was just out trying to clip all of these like these thorn vines, and I've done it a bunch of times, and there's always a noticeable difference. I've had the plants around here grow like several feet because I do these things. So it is for that purpose. It is also for the other things that are growing around here, the creatures. But it's a multi-step process, and so I really have to go out and rake up. My blisters like just barely healed. You can't really see, but I need new gardening gloves. My shears are like gonna break any day. My phone's gonna freaking break any day. It's a very fragile situation all around. So, but you know, I don't get to make a lot of choices. And I know people would love to make this a topic of contention. But, you know, unfortunately, where there is, you know, hostility or aggression elsewhere, it is of equal interest. And so that is to say that, yes, they would come tear things out. They would come tear everything out with a weed whacker. And what a mess it would be. So, yeah, I'm tired and a little itchy. I have been needing to replenish my provisions for days, but getting harassed by Instacart and trying to delete that. The last thing, they emailed me and they said, so can we reactivate your account? I swear to God they did. I said, no, I'm deleting it. And they didn't reply. So, you know, I'm trying to, like, you know, offer you something to, you know, ground yourself in, something, you know, practical. The, you know, ritual of maintenance and hygiene are like the easiest things to do. So I went next door this morning, tried to pick something up, like literally like right around this side of the block. And I get over there and my card gets declined. So I had to come back over here and walk back over there. And I was completely covered in sweat just from, you know, this 5-minute exercise. So I started off like that, get back over here, shower. You know, I'm still not on speaking terms with the presumed estate manager. Not me. After the construction here. Because I was genuinely like so shaken up, you know. And so, no, she hasn't called to check on me. Apparently, that's more of interest. The opportunity to confront my, you know, my feelings, my emotions, but she decided not to. So we're not on speaking terms. So that means, you know, I have to get my own tampons and toilet paper and stuff like this. So I had to walk over to CVS after I had been to Magic Market. And actually I did all of the clipping of the vines. And then I went to CVS. So I've been like in the hot heat like 3 times, just fucking, like I'm just so tired. But I used my freaking birthday card that I got freaking put on because it got declined over here. But then of course, I try to, you know, use it real quick, buy the CVS stuff, use it. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. So I used it at CVS very quickly because that's where it claims to be from. And it worked, what do you know? So then I used it for Walmart, and they're supposed to be here soon because bitch doesn't give a fuck that I'm put out and struggling and very upset. That is the story of my life, that I get put on the spot to be as miserable as goddamned possible. And then nobody says anything or does anything more than what they want to do. And they write a bunch of different stories about it. And cut me out of the narrative entirely. Okay. Thanks so much for your time and attention to this difficult matter. I really appreciate it. Yes, this is what I wore, which I've worn dozens of times, but for some reason today, I feel extra like someone wants me to rip my clothes off and beat myself. Oh, but I'm not done. It's day 7. We're supposed to stop and savor. Buddhist meditation has 2 aspects, shamatha and vipassana. We tend to stress the importance of vipassana, looking deeply, because it can bring us insight and liberate us from suffering and afflictions. But the practice of shamatha, stopping, is fundamental. If we cannot stop, we cannot have insight. Thich Nhat Hanh, the heart of the Buddha's teaching. Congratulations. You've completed an entire week of soul preparation. You are now ready for the next step. But before you go, take a moment to celebrate where you are. Yes, you're hungry for the whole feast, the beautiful new life, but stop and be grateful for the portion you have been served. This is a beautiful time to have a conversation with your voice of your own spiritual intelligence and power has shifted or expanded or changed. Did you discover anything new? Discover is an interesting word. It is an ancient Latin word that means to remove the covering. That's what you did this week and what you'll be doing throughout the Lotus and the Lily. You are uncovering the truth that is already alive in your soul. Did you uncover something that don't look so pretty? Don't judge them. They may. Give yourself permission to bless, savor, and even celebrate your week just the way it was. Don't forget to list all the gifts you received. You may be surprised at what you now consider a gift and by how many showed up. Get used to it. By the time you finish the Lotus and the Lily, you will have a cornucopia of gifts that will serve you for the rest of your life. But my question is, do you actually count the gift of having already received this? Or is that part of discovering your new philosophy, is to disavow what you already know? See, I'm actually finding myself being drawn, being corralled, being ushered to really take a stand and explicitly express my childhood and why everything is so fucked up. The thing is, you know, I really had a desire to move on, and that is why it hasn't been a topic of discussion, and it still isn't, because this is one-sided, but if it were, it would go something along the lines of provocation and intervention. You know, I would have to say something very direct and crass, like, have you ever experienced a malicious? Have you ever experienced anything magical? But then, do you have any definition for what is natural? Or do you just want everything to be magical? Can you demonstrate how you theologically recognize nature and nurture? Or is it just a subject of contention? Okay, so many gifts. The second wave, gratitude. Do you remember the wave of intention you sent out from your soul slinky at the beginning of this week? Look at that intention now and compare it to what actually happened. Any surprises? What has this week taught you about the power of human intention and the wisdom of the divine? What has it taught you about the power of preparation? What gifts did you receive this week? Take a moment now to stop and breathe and whisper thank you to your guides and angels and the divine ground from which they and you sprang. You are blessed and you are loved. Say thank you and send waves of gratitude back into the world. Put that soul slinky, real or imaginary, in your hands with a wave of gratitude from your right hand. Celebrate the completion of your first week of the lotus and the lily. Reflect. What did I learn about myself and my spiritual powers this week? What truths did I uncover? What did I learn about my spiritual partners? How different is my intention for this week from what actually happened? What am I learning about setting intentions? Do I feel ready to take the next step? Looking back at my life. Right. Dear voice, you know, I thought this first week would be a piece of cake. I mean, really, a whole week of preparation. I thought a day or two would be plenty, but then each day there was one discovery after another. Now I think I'm just scratching the surface on the power of preparation. Let's go over this week together. I want to understand all the gifts. Let's see. I think the biggest gift was explore. It's a sweet, quiet, easy day. Just stand in a place of gratitude and be grateful. Don't skip over this seemingly small step of standing still for a moment and honoring where you are. Learning to stop and savor what is, as it is a precious and important way to live. Nourish. I stop and savor my life. Want more? Give yourself a full and complete stop. Here's one way. Go outside and sit. Just sit. Sit still and stare off in space for 15 minutes. Notice how you feel when you get up. All right. So very exciting. Just about half an hour until this Sezzle conference. And Walmart's supposed to be here at that time. And the mail just came, and I just did my reading, and I haven't put any holes anywhere. You know, if I wanted to plant something out here, presumably I would use that new pickaxe that was left here after the construction. I have 2 of those now. So, anyways, I've got to run. Got laundry to do, all kinds of things like this. Very busy, but did a little weed work today. And anybody say Yoda's breath?